Good morning, students. Welcome back to Zoology online class. Last class, we have studied about application of microbes. Have you remember? Shall we recall the previous portion? Yes? Okay. Microbes in agriculture. That is, microbes as biofertilizers and microbes as biocontrol agents. And second thing, microbes in industries. Here, the microorganisms play an important role in production of wide variety of valuable products such as production of fermented beverages, curing of coffee beans, tea leaves and tobacco leaves, production of curd, production of organic acids, enzymes and vitamins. Third thing, microbes in medicine. That is, it is useful in antibiotics as well as vaccines. In this section, we are going to learn about manifestation of disease. There are two types of diseases, communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. Communicable diseases also known as infectious diseases. Non-communicable diseases also known as non-infectious diseases. Let us learn about one by one. The first one is communicable diseases are infectious diseases. Infectious diseases are communicable diseases. They are caused by external factors like pathogenic organisms, example bacteria, virus, parasites and vectors. They are entering the body and causing diseases. Example, influenza, tuberculosis, chickenpox, cholera, pneumonia, malaria. Next one, non-infectious disease are non-communicable diseases. They are caused by internal factors like malfunctioning of organs, genetic causes, hormonal imbalance and immune system defect. Example, diabetes, coronary heart diseases, obesity, cancer, goiter, etc. Have you got it, children? Here, communicable diseases means the disease caused by external factors such as microorganisms, bacteria, virus, vectors as well as parasites. Non-communicable diseases are caused by internal factors. That means malfunctioning of organs, genetic disorders, hormonal imbalance as well as organ imbalance. Example, diabetes, coronary heart diseases. Clear, children? Okay. So next one is point of entry and place of infection. Here, the pathogens enter the human body through contaminated air, water, food, soil, physical contact, sexual contact, and through infected animals. They may be organ specific or tissue specific within our body where microbes reside. That means the microorganisms how did enter our body and causing diseases. They are enter the human body through contaminated air, water, food, soil, physical contact, sexual contact and through infected animals. Have you got it, children? Okay. Reservoir of infection. Reservoir of infection refers to the specific environment in which the pathogens can thrive well and multiply without causing diseases. Example, water, soil and animal population. Next, incubation period. In the interval between infection and first appearance of the disease is called incubation period. What is incubation period? In the interval between infection and first appearance of the disease is called incubation period. It may vary from few hours to several days. How many days? Few hours to several days. Next, infection. Infection is the entry, development or multiplication of an infectious agent in the human body or animals. Infection means the entry, development or multiplication of an infectious agent in the human body or animals. Next, harmful effect of microbes. How did the microorganisms enter our body and what are the parts it will damage? You can see one by one. Pathogens cause disease in two ways. They are tissue damage and toxin secretion. The first one is tissue damage. Many pathogens destroy the tissues or organs of the body, causing morphological and functional damage. For example, bacterium of pulmonary tuberculosis damages the cells of lungs. Second thing, toxin secretion. Many pathogens secrete poisonous substance called toxins, which cause tissue damage leading to diseases. So, the pathogens cause disease in two ways. What are they? Tissue damage as well as toxin secretion. Okay. Now, let us learn about casualty organism, mode of infection, occurrence, symptoms, and preventive measures of few airborne, waterborne, vector-borne, and sexually transmitted diseases. The first one is airborne diseases. Children, you all know what you mean airborne diseases. The diseases spread through air, isn't it? When we are inhaling the air enters in our body and cause diseases. Okay. Human beings inhale atmospheric air. Due to continuous inhalation of contaminated air, the chances for airborne microorganisms to find a coast and cause infections are higher. Most of the respiratory tract infections are acquired by inhaling air containing the pathogen that are transmitted through droplets caused by cough or sneeze, dust and spores. Now we can see the airborne diseases caused by virus. First one, disease, common cold. Disease, common cold. Casualty organism, rhinovirus. Casualty organism, rhinovirus. Mode of transmission, droplet infection. That means oral drops, saliva. Tissue or organ affected, upper respiratory tract. That means inflammation of nasal chamber. Symptoms, fever, cough, running nose, sneezing and headache. Once again, we can see disease, common cold. Casualty organism, rhinovirus. Mode of transmission, droplet infection. Organ affected, upper respiratory tract. Symptoms, fever, cough, running nose, sneezing and headache. The second one, influenza. Casualty organism, myxovirus. Casualty organism, myxovirus. Mode of transmission, droplet infection. Mode of transmission, droplet infection. Organ affected, respiratory tract. Organ affected, respiratory tract. Symptoms, fever, body pain, cough, sore throat, nasal discharge, respiratory congestion. Third disease, measles. Disease name, measles. Casualty organism, rubeola virus. Casualty organism, rubeola virus. Mode of transmission, droplet infection, droplet nuclei and direct contact with infected person. Direct contact with infected person. Okay, that means when the person is affected, when we contact with them, it will enter our body and cause disease. Organ affected. Respiratory tract. Symptoms. Eruption of small red spots or rashes in skin. Cough, sneezing, redness of eye. Cough, sneezing, redness of eye. Got it, children? Okay. Next disease, mumps. Disease, mumps. Castry organism, myxovirus parotids. Myxovirus parotids. Mode of transmission, droplet infection, droplet nuclei, and direct contact with infected person. Direct contact with infected person. Organ affected, upper respiratory tract. Upper respiratory tract. Symptoms, enlargement of parotid gland. Enlargement of parotid gland. Movement of jaw becomes difficult. That means we cannot able to move our joints. Will be paining. Okay. Enlargement of parotid glands. It is one of the salivary gland located near the ear. That region will be swelling. Clear? Next, chicken pox. Okay. Castry organism, varicella zoster virus. Varicella zoster virus. Mode of transmission, droplet infection, droplet nuclei, and direct contact with infected person. Organ affected, respiratory tract. Organ affected, respiratory tract. Symptoms, eruption of the skin, fever and uneasiness. Eruption of skin and fever. Clear, children? What are the airborne diseases caused by virus? Common cold, influenza, measles, mumps, chickenpox. What is the Hastry agent of chickenpox? Varicella zoster virus. What is the Hastry organism of measles? Rubeola virus. What is the symptoms of common cold? Fever, cough, running nose, sneezing, and headache. What is the Hastry organism of influenza? Myxovirus. Hastry organism of measles? Rubeola virus. Here more one-word questions are there. So you carefully read and learn it. Have you got it, children? Okay. Next one, airborne diseases caused by bacteria. First one we can see airborne diseases caused by virus. Now we can see airborne diseases caused by bacteria. Disease, tuberculosis. Castry organism, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Castry organism, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Mode of transmission, droplet infection from sputum of infected persons. Droplet infection from sputum of infected persons. Organ affected, lungs. Organ affected, lungs. Symptoms, persistent cough, that means continuous cough, chest pain, loss of weight and appetite. Loss of weight and no hungry. So loss of weight and appetite. Second one, disease, diphtheria. Disease, diphtheria. Castry organism, Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Mode of transmission, droplet infection, droplet nuclei. Organ affected, upper respiratory tract. Upper respiratory tract. That means nose and throat. Symptoms, fever, sore throat, choking of air passage. Fever, sore throat, choking of air passage. That means they cannot able to respire properly. Next disease, whooping cough. Disease, whooping cough. Castry organism, Bordetella pertussis. Bordetella pertussis. Mode of transmission, droplet infection, direct contact with infected person. Droplet infection, direct contact with infected person. Organ affected, respiratory tract. Symptoms, mild fever, severe cough ending in oof. That means it making a sound, loud growing inspiration. Clear? So what are the diseases caused by bacteria? That means tuberculosis, diphtheria, whooping cough. Tuberculosis, diphtheria, whooping cough. Tuberculosis. What is the history organism of tuberculosis? Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Which organ affected? Lungs. Because airborne diseases, we are inhaling the air through respiratory tract. Okay. Next, diphtheria. What is the history organism? Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Corynebacterium diphtheriae. What are the symptoms of diphtheria? Fever, sore throat, choking of air passage. Clear? Next, whooping cough. What is the history organism? Bordetella pertussis. Bordetella pertussis. Organ affected? Respiratory tract. Which organ? Respiratory tract. That means nose and throat. Okay. Symptoms: mild fever, severe cough, ending in oof. Mild fever, severe cough, ending in oof. Clear, children? Have you got it? So, what are the airborne diseases caused by bacteria? Tuberculosis, diphtheria, whooping cough. Tuberculosis, diphtheria, whooping cough. What are the airborne diseases caused by virus? Common cold, influenza, measles, mumps, chickenpox. What is the history organism of influenza? Myxovirus. What is the history organism of measles? Rubella virus. What is the history organism of chickenpox? Varicella zoster virus. Clear it? What is the symptoms of common cold? Fever, cough, running nose, sneezing and headache. What are the symptoms? Fever, cough, running nose, sneezing and headache. Have you got it, children? Okay. Children, now we can see some do you know questions from the book. World Health Day, 7th April. World Health Day, 7th April. World Malaria Day, 25th April. World Malaria Day, 25th April. World AIDS Day, 1st December. World AIDS Day, 1st December. World Anti-Tuberculosis Day, 24th March. World Anti-Tuberculosis Day, 24th March. Once again, World Health Day, 7th April. World Malaria Day, 25th April. World AIDS Day, 1st December. World Anti-Tuberculosis Day, 24th March. Robert Koch, father of bacteriology. Who is called father of bacteriology? Robert Koch. Okay. That's all today portion. Now we can mark the questions in the book. Take your book. Turn page number 272. Page number 272. Roman letter 11. Higher order thinking skills. Roman letter 11. Higher order thinking skills. Question number 1. Suggest precautionary measures you can take in your school to reduce the incidence of infectious disease. Suggest precautionary measures you can take in your school to reduce the incidence of infectious disease. Children, this one write it in the note. Already you have written the same note, you write it. First point. Clean and hygienic environment should be maintained. Clean, C-L-E-A-N, clean and hygienic, H-Y-G-I-E-N-I-C, hygienic environment, E-N-V-I-R-O-N-M-E-N-T, environment should be maintained inside and outside the school. Once again, clean and hygienic environment should be maintained inside and outside the school. Second point. Enough, E-N-O-U-G-H, enough first aid medicine, F-I-R-S-T, first aid, A-I-D, medicine, M-E-D-I-C-I-N-E, medicines, E-S, medicines should be kept in the school. Once again, enough first aid medicines should be kept in the school. Third point, proper awareness, PROPERAWARENESS, proper awareness about healthy diet and healthy instructions should be instructed to the students. Once again, proper awareness about healthy diet and healthy instructions should be instructed to the students. Last point, the infected student must be kept away from other students. The infected student must be kept away from other students. Written, children? Okay, that's all. Thank you, children.